Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Odious Soul. My name is Shannon, and tonight we are with Mike and Amanda, and we have a new friend, Chris. Everybody say hi to the new friend. Hi. Sorry.
Hello, everybody.
So tonight we are doing something a little bit different, and you guys might remember Chris from last week's show. He wasn't on the show, but Amanda did call him out and say congratulations on being Mr. Safety Guy. And after the show, we actually talked with him for a little bit, and we saw why he's the safety guy. We saw the bikes and all the stuff that he does to keep them together, right? No, just joking. But he was also the guy in chat that Amanda was trying to figure out who the heck he was. So he's kind of been here, but just not on the show yet. So welcome, Chris. Chris, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you out on social media?
Just look for my last name. It should be on the screen. It's Alinario, and first name's Chris. If it's not Chris, then it is someone in my family, but not hard to find.
All right, cool. Well, welcome. We are glad we have you. Thank you for joining us. And Amanda, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you out on the social medias?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Stay Fast and Weird, and do not find me on Facebook. That is it. That is all.
Which, as always, it means you can stalk her on Facebook. Just don't hit that friend button.
Yeah, Mike, I'm pretty cool.
Like, where can people find you?
Instagram and TikTok at Twisted Rider.
All right, and then of course myself. You can find me everywhere as the Odious Soul, and here on YouTube, you've already found me. It's the Odious Soul. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the like button, and make sure you let yourselves be known in chat. So I see Let's Go for a Walk already. Hey, what's up? Welcome back. So tonight we're going to be talking about something that I think is suiting for the holiday season, because the holidays are full of traditions. So I had this great idea to talk about traditions and superstitions in this community, because even though I'm still pretty much a newbie, you all are crazy with your superstitions and traditions. Let me just tell you. So I thought, let's go over some of them. All right. So before we get into it, though, what is everybody drinking tonight? Anybody drinking anything fun?
Oh, well, I got a plethora of things because ADHD. We got some green tea because I'm a loser. Chocolate milk. Matt told me that people don't drink milk anymore, just like milk in a glass. I drink chocolate milk every night. What a weirdo.
My best friend Jill, she drinks milk every single day. Like, it's like her thing. She works out and then she chugs milk.
Yes, I do.
Not chocolate milk.
Very bad.
But it's her body craves milk for some reason.
Yes, mine's the same way. When I get done working out or doing yoga, I crave chocolate milk. It's the weirdest thing. Oh, coffee, always,
Chocolate milk is actually a very good post-workout.
Protein,
sugar. For quick carbs. Yeah, it's a good one.
I don't know. Milk, exercise, projectile vomit. That's what I think. Does not work for me at all.
I love milk, man.
Well, Chris, what are you drinking tonight?
I have water, and I have tea in a wonderful Bob Ross mug.
Oh,
I love it. I love a good mug.
It does say, I don't know if this will be reversed, but there are no mistakes, just only happy accidents. So
that's the cutest thing ever.
Very nice mantra. Mike, what about you? What are you drinking?
Drinking some water and some hot cocoa out of a gingerbread house mug.
Very festive.
You're so much more festive than you are.
And me, I am drinking seltzer water, strawberry watermelon. Look at us all being lame with no alcohol tonight.
Nobody, I was just thinking the same thing. There's no alcohol in this podcast at all. What's going on?
Yeah, next time we got to go over the what are we drinking beforehand. Like, let's not mention it if we're not all getting fucking hammered.
Obviously, Chris, you do not watch our show enough, because we always go over this. And normally at least one of us is drinking. And I always say, like, drinking gives me an excuse if I say something stupid, and the next day I can be like, oh, it's because I was drinking. But now we have no excuses to be stupid.
I can get the wine.
No, that's okay. That's okay. All right. So anyway, there is some news announced this week, because of course myself and I fell in love with Moto America last year. So we are following what riders are confirmed as they kind of come along. So Amanda has some news. Amanda, what is the latest American news?
Well, before I get to Moto America news, I want to wish Marika from Ruts to Race Lines a happy birthday. That's a woman making an impact for women in the riding community. So I felt like that was important to say. I already made a huge post about it. Whatever, you'll see it if you want to. But she's awesome. Happy birthday. You're awesome. Now to Moto America. So I was reading today that Joe Lemandry, which a New Jersey mini moto kid. He started riding with them, I think when he was like 8 years old. Now he's like a teenager or something. He's got to be like 16, 17. I don't remember. But like, you know, he's a New Jersey kid. So of course I got the heart for the New Jersey kids, especially the mini kids. He's confirmed for Altus this year on an R7, which is exciting. So he's moving up from junior to twins. And then there's this kid, it just says DeMario. I don't really know who he is, but he's going to be on a 400. He's 13 years old. He's an Italian born rider, and he was in the North America Talent Cup for the Nikki Hayden thing. So I mean, that's cool. I'm happy for him. 13-year-old kid making it. That's awesome. I accept. You know, I'm happy for him.
It'll be fun to watch him this year and see how he does.
Yeah, I'm excited for Lemandry though, for real, because Altus is a great team to be a part of if you're going to be a part of a team.
All right.
I hope we see him on the mini track.
Oh yeah, dude, he's gnarly on the mini track. If you ever go to a New Jersey mini GP day, listen, just don't be in a race with them because they'll just swallow you whole and rub your back tire because that's fun.
I'm gonna be on a TTR 125 with probably the same amount of horsepower as I have in my fucking lawnmower. I mean, I'm not really racing anyone.
No, dude. So when I was there the last time, Rocco Landers was on a rented TTR 125 that freaking Tony Pags had to like kind of jimmy up a little bit while we were there. They rented it. He wasn't even on his own. It wasn't built, and he just like ripped past everybody. Fucking kids, man.
I can't imagine that after riding that the 150R. Jesus fucking Christ! It feels like leader on that.
Are you talking about Mike Fish's?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's gnarly.
Yeah,
that thing's gnarly.
You guys got to get me out on a mini track this year. Like you definitely do.
Listen, Chris,
and you definitely have to do it.
Dude, we shared our bikes with him. Like I was telling you guys, I wrecked like the first lap of my first session. He was like, "Oh, do you want me?" I was like, "Just fucking take it, dude." And he just takes it out and starts riding. But everybody was like, "Here, Chris, try." So we got to try all these different bikes. I feel like I'm speaking for you now, but like you don't have to have a bike to go. When I first went to a mini day, it was at OVRP, and Fred's like, "Don't worry about it. We got bikes." I rode 3 different bikes that day. It was awesome. You don't need a bike to go. Just go.
All right, and Amanda, I just want to point out real fast, like there's a little bit of feedback coming from you. I don't know if you're doing something different with audio tonight, but I get a little bit of feedback on you.
Weird. Maybe I'll just turn these off. Let me see something.
All right. Well, while you're figuring that out, let's get started on what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some superstitions and traditions because this motorcycle community is full of them. Okay. So before we get into it, I have to come with some knowledge and some facts. Scientific studies, have shown that adhering to a superstition creates almost this placebo effect that, makes you feel like luck is on your side, giving you this like illusion that you are in control. And they also found that those who adhere to these things, typically have more confidence. So you can imagine that some people in this community have superstitions because of this, because it kind of makes them feel like they're more in control, kind of makes them feel a bit luckier. And then of course, us as humans, we're just stupid creatures of habit. So, I mean, what can we say? But it was so funny. Like before the show, like I asked Mike if he knew what Rossi's, what his like little tradition or superstition was.
Routine?
Yes, his routine.
There's a difference between a routine and a tradition. His is a routine.
Well, a routine is a tradition. I mean, I guess we go along. There are some things that are traditions, like the blessing of the bikes, which we'll talk about later on. Like that's totally a tradition,
Yeah, that's different.
But then, so then there's rituals, but it's also kind of edges on that superstition thing. Like people are afraid to change that ritual because of superstitions. So,
for Rossi's routine or tradition or whatever you want to call it, I do think that there's a little more to it than a standard superstition. And I think part of
Exactly.
that is because to ride a motorcycle on the track on that level, you need everything you do, all of your inputs to be identical. Look at braking, for example. On
Mental.
braking, you want to brake exactly the same when you apply it every time. You want that to be exactly identical to the last time, to the next time, to the time after that. So for him, it might be a way to get him into that track riding race, more, I guess, that racing mentality. And it's because, you know, a lot of stuff's unknown. So if he sticks to the same thing, he gets in that mindset, and he knows that his first input is always going to be the same, and then he adjusts it based on, you know, who blocked past him or whatever else he has to do. So
Exactly. So he
I
can
think that's not
adapt.
necessarily superstition so much as, you know, kind of getting his head in the game. So,
Exactly.
sorry.
No, you're fine. Because I was literally just going to kind of touch on the same thing. You explained it really well, but I did the Yamaha Championship School thing online, which is actually awesome, by the way, if you guys wanted to try it when they have like a sale or something. But they actually go over that through this like thing, this curriculum that they do. And it's exactly what you said. It's a routine for psychological purposes to get your head in the fucking game, basically. And there's no other, I mean, that's the purpose. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a mental psychological thing.
All right. So for people like newbies that might be watching or may watch later, like me, Mike, what does Rossi do before every race?
To stretch, like, you know, squat, you know.
Buy his backpack. Or
Yeah.
his rear set rather.
I really wish we could like turn the laptop, the camera, and I could make him do it right now, but I know he won't. It was funny though.
Well, I
He
did
goes
do it. I did do it.
He did do it. It was so funny. All right. So now I did hit up a few riders, racers, just to kind of see if they had any superstitions or traditions. And, you know, we'll start with Matthew Schultz. You know, I love Schultzy. He is, of course, Moto America Superbike superstar. And he said that he doesn't actually have any superstitions, which, you know, okay. But he does.
Logical guy. I like it already.
He has a couple traditions though, or rituals or whatever. Like he does take a nap before race 2 when race weekend, which I thought
Fucking love that.
I was like, oh, that's adorable. I'm like, you know, if you ever need a cuddle buddy, I'm there for you, bro. Okay. And then he also says he listens to music while he's changing just to kind of get into that zone mentally. But other than that, like that's pretty much all he really says that he does, you know, habitually there. And then I also reached out to Robert Lackey. He is co-owner with his wife of Bison Leathers, aka the leather guy on IG on Instagram. So go follow him there. He said, this is hilarious. He said he was so superstitious when he used to play hockey. He played hockey for like 20 years. And when he was a goaltender, and he said he used to thank the goalpost when the puck would deflect off them. And he would rough up the ice on the goal crease in a certain pattern. And he would tap his pads in a certain sequence, like before every face off. And he said he did this for like 20 years. Like this was just
what does that sound like to you? That sounds like purely psychological.
Oh, totally. But
yeah.
This was the thing. He said when he transitioned over to racing, this kind of stuff didn't follow him. And he said that he thinks it's because there is so much prep work, you know, getting to the grid that he just didn't have time for all those mind games in himself. He said, you know, like the trivial things like remembering to put fuel in the bike and to check tire pressures and, you know, all that little stuff, you know, like if he was thinking about like those ritual, like superstitious kind of things, then other stuff could have fallen behind and not happened.
Sounds like he needs to hire me to do his job.
Yeah. So he said, you know, in conclusion, you know, with racing, he's too focused on the task at hand, you know, to get completed because safety is so important out there that he just doesn't have time to worry about superstitions or like which boot to put on first or anything like that, which I thought was cool. But the last rider that I got to like give me some knowledge, I have to laugh at this one because I actually have personal experience with this from you guys. Thank you so much. You know, Max Flinders, number 88 on the yellow R1, you know, Moto America Superbike. He wanted to make sure that we remember to talk about the curse of the new leathers. Okay. Like every time you get a new set of leathers, you're supposed to rub them
Scuff
on the
them up.
you know, scuff them up. And if you don't, you're going to crash them the first time you go out. And he said he's actually crashed 3 times in new leathers because he didn't scuff them up first. And I thought that was like crazy. So, but now I have to say, like, so we talked about, I made Amanda and Mike send me superstitions, traditions, or whatever beforehand. And you had like 2 on your list, Amanda, that I'm like, what? The first one was the
I can
penny
tell you the
down
penny down the leathers. I know. You didn't even have to tell me. I already knew because you don't watch Isle of Man TT. You don't do the Isle of Man thing. So that's why
So
I knew you didn't know.
Is it just
If you're not
John
watching the Island,
Guinness?
it's fucking up.
Is it just
Yeah, that's
John
what-
McGinnis that does this? Do you know why he does it? Like, what's
I do know why. As a matter of fact, I do. I just got to bring it back up because I suck at, hold on. Why can't I do things today?
All right. Well, while you're doing that,
Yeah, just skip me for a second.
no, who scuffs up the helmet? That was another thing. I haven't heard anybody do that.
That's just like
do you
a
scuff up the
thing.
helmet?
No,
I don't do it. I
I-
wouldn't, but people do it.
I've never heard of anybody doing that. That was a surprise too. I was like, leathers, yes, I get that. That's a new thing. When I got my leathers, I completely was forced to lay on the ground and roll around like an idiot. I did it. I haven't crashed yet. Knock on wood. Okay.
Gotcha. So I found what I was looking for. So like, fuck, where did it go? So basically, I guess he was saying that like in 2005, his kid like dropped a penny down in his leathers and he found it later, but he had won the race. So he's just done it ever since, but he's a consistent winner. Like he's a consistent, guy. John McGinnis is badass. If you don't know who he is, you should probably look him up. I mean, it's motorcycle, like that's our community. That's our history. That's what we're about. Like stuff like that. Like these big road races are what a lot of this is about.
The Isle of Man is hands down the best motorcycle race ever. Every year.
Yes.
Every year. It combines the danger and nuttiness that you need to in order to do this. So I think it's the perfect race. Although very imperfect race given how kind of dangerous it is.
I was going to say the only thing that really sucks about Isle of Man is the amount of deaths that happen on a regular basis. And it's really, really sad. But I look at it this way. Listen, these guys are probably smiling in their helmets while they're racing or they're focused or whatever. They're doing something they've loved their entire freaking life. And it's like, God.
It's like climbing Everest. It's like it's the climbing Everest of motorcycle sports.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Chris was probably going to.
Well, it's 2 things about that. It was a few years back, but there was this guy that he was in his late 70s or maybe even his 80s. And he happened to unfortunately pass away while he was racing.
Mm-hmm.
The general feeling, I wasn't there unfortunately, but the general feeling wasn't that much of sadness. It was, he really went out he knew, everybody knows it's a possibility. That's the other thing I was going to say. So when there is a fatality, they knew what they signed up for when they entered that race. It's no secret that it's a dangerous race. But the guy that went out later in his life, people weren't even really that sad. They said, you know what? That's definitely how he wanted to go out. So
Absolutely.
I mean, that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even look at the freaking comments, bro. I'm like over here, everybody's like, yeah, I'm wearing a Lorna Shore shirt, Nick. That's my band. I mean, I'm a punk rock kid, but I love metal too. Sorry, I had to say something.
Oh, no worries. I haven't even been looking at chat, so I apologize. I'm rearranging my
What's up over here?
That's
Oh,
it.
and Matt's back. Hey, Matt, what's up, yo? The other Matt, not my boyfriend, Matt. Matt F.
All right. So next thing is the dropping your helmet or laying it on the ground. All right. What does everybody have to think about that?
So I got something to say about that. I was taught that you are not supposed to put your helmet on the ground. You're not supposed to do this. I do it all the time. You guys see me at the track. I just don't give a shit. My shit is everywhere. But I was taught that way. And when I put this up on my Facebook, the post or whatever, podcast, blah, blah, blah. Somebody I've known since high school or middle school, Chad, he was like, oh, I what did he say? He's like, somebody put my $600 or $500 shoey on the ground and I bought a new one. Bro, that's crazy. I respect it, but that's hood rat shit. Okay. We know you're from the hood.
Can you ask them what size that $500 or $600 show is?
Oh, dude, I'm sure it was years ago. But this kid, he puts no miles on his supermoto front wheels. He just wheelies all around my town. Like, kid's cool as shit. Well, we're the same age. Dude is cool as shit. His bikes are cool as shit. I haven't seen him in years. We're just like Facebook friends or whatever. But like, I like about lost my mind. I was like, what? I was like, dude, I put my helmet on the ground, like usually like something like a shirt or something underneath of it, or put it on my trailer. And I'm like, or in the trunk of my car or something. I just put it wherever. Like, I don't give a shit. But like, as long as it doesn't fall on the ground, because if it falls on the ground, that becomes a safety issue. That's where I have a problem.
The only reason I don't put, or I try very hard not to put my helmet on the ground, is from living in Texas and Arizona.
Bugs.
Slithery, crawly things getting there, so it's still kind of like ingrained in my mind. Oh, don't set it on the ground. Go set it somewhere else. But,
Scorpions. I bet you guys had scorpions out there too, huh?
so in the 12 years I spent in the Southwest, I only ever saw 2 scorpions that I found, but I found them in my room. One was in the kitchen.
I'd rather die.
I'm like
I'd rather find a lizard.
It's like wherever it lands, it's okay. I don't even think about it. And now all this stuff is going to make me start thinking twice about what I do with my helmet. Thanks, guys.
Well, there's no scorpions or,
There are
Listen,
big spiders. I'm not,
dude.
not as big
I
as
have
Texas.
bees fly in my helmet while I'm just riding.
Oh yeah, that
So
happens.
it has nothing to do with it being on the ground. Just
Yep, definitely. All the little tiny bugs that end up in my helmet. It's just like then you got to like raise the visor, let them escape.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I haven't ridden on the street, God, since I sold the GSXR. So like, I don't know. Oh no. So I leave my gear during track season. I leave all of my gear in my car all the time. Like my boots are in there, my gloves are in there, my leathers are hung up in the back seat. Always, like they're always in there. So like I went to Summit for Memorial Day weekend for CCS stuff. I had wolf spiders in the back of my car because they were in my tent, and I left my tent back there. Sure, that was fun. Like there were baby spiders back there. I pulled my stuff out of my helmet because I wash my helmet pads like every like month or two because I have acne and I get nasty. So like I have to wash them or I'm just going to be a disgusting mess, more so than my face is now. So I just washed my helmet pads and just hoped for the best. And I was okay. But it was scary.
do me a favor. Do me a favor and bring at least the helmet in, because UV rays damage stuff. So
I mean, if it's in the trunk, I was thinking more of just her leathers hanging in the backseat of her car with how hot it gets in the car. Like what?
No, my windows are always down. I don't use my AC. I just don't like AC. I don't like air blowing on me like that. So I always have my sunroof open or something.
Like if you're at work or something.
I Lysol my leathers.
No, I'm talking about like the heat, like heat in the summertime. It gets super hot in your car. Wouldn't
Yeah,
that
sure.
deteriorate the leather?
I have tinted windows. My car doesn't get stupid hot.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it gets hot, yeah, but it doesn't like do any. I don't know. My leathers have been fine. I just pulled like you guys saw. I pulled the internals out of my leathers. Everything's fine. I mean, they do their job. They live. I don't know. I mean, they're pretty good leathers.
All right. Well, okay. Like let's talk
Zeb!
about the next superstition thing. Now, this one comes more from maybe not
Andrew?
sport bikes.
Andrew said wolf spiders are when you burn your car down. I like my car way too much. You know what car I have.
Yeah. I will squeal like a girl every time I see one, and then I'll kill
Nah,
it.
bugs don't bother me.
No problem killing it, but I will squeal like a girl first. All right. So the next one on the list is those Guardian gremlin bells. Now, you don't really see this in the sport bike. I have not seen.
Oh,
this.
you do.
On the street side.
sometimes
It is. It is. So
It's all over.
Size sport bike uses these things too.
Street
Not as often.
kids who are
Like the hoodlums, like the hooligans don't, right? Like
the hood rats, the ones who ride duck-footed, they're the ones who do that, if you know what I mean. The ones who do not ride on the balls of their feet, if you know what I mean. They're the ones who have guardian bells because their dads were 1%ers or whatever. Go fuck themselves. I have a long history of not liking bike clubs. I respect everybody who rides, but it's not my thing.
Yeah, my ex was in an MC, so like I remember like the Guardian bells or the Gremlin bells from that, And what's really funny is there are rules. There are rules when it comes to these bells. Okay, so number one is never buy your own. It's
a gift.
Number two, you're not allowed to hang it yourself. So whoever buys it for you is the one who's supposed to hang it from you. you should rule number 3 is never leave a bell behind. So like if you sell your bike, you have to remove the bell. Unless you want to gift it to the new owner of the bike, but then you're still supposed to remove it and
So
rehang
if
it.
you take it
That's
off,
bullshit.
you're not allowed to hang it since you were allowed to hang it originally.
No, you can no. Well, I mean, I don't know.
You have to
I don't
call
know
the
that.
person that hung it, say, hey, can you come take the bell off my bike so you can put it on my new bike?
I have no idea, nor do I really care. I'm just
You're
telling
gonna
you.
get beat up if you do that. Hey man, you left this bell on my bike. Can you come take it? Yeah, I would beat that person up.
All right, rule
Yeah,
number
I'll
4.
remove
We
the
still
bell,
have
I'll
more
also
rules
remove the
here.
brake caliper.
We still have more rules here. So rule number 4, you've got to attach it to the lowest part of the frame because apparently the road gremlins, they come from the ground. So you're supposed to hang it on the lowest part, on the most front part. That way, if they like when they go up to grab it, they grab that first.
Well,
That
Stupid.
sounds so weird because the lowest part of
That
the front
doesn't
is your
work for sport
headers.
bikes because Ducati's new, like the Panigales don't have frames, and most bikes have like the Delta box, which doesn't have a front part of a frame. So
Well, we're talking
motor-
about the Harleys
the
here.
motor is the front part.
It's
of
all headers. Why were you gonna hang
Talking
them? It's
about the
fucking dumb.
Harleys.
Just don't do it.
All right. Well, rule number 5. We still have more rules. Rule number 5: a stolen bell loses its power. So if somebody steals your bike and it has the bell on it, the bell will no longer work. The new person is screwed, basically. And then rule number 6 is the bell should be occasionally cleaned and polished. So every time you clean your bike, you're supposed to polish off these bells.
Okay, so I never have to
my belts off every
polish it.
day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought they were just for like the Harley dudes. I didn't think that street people. Like,
It depends on where you're from, how you grew up, what your crew is. Everybody's different. Everybody does things. I mean, do your thing. I'm just gonna make jokes about it and never do it myself. But like, sure, respect. You ride on 2 wheels, whatever.
You do know I'm gonna attach gremlin bells all over your fucking track bike this year.
You ever?
Oh
Listen,
my
Chris,
gosh, this will be
Chris,
the best Christmas
Chris,
present for Amanda, right?
Chris,
I bet
Chris,
we can just
don't.
do it on like Amazon in bulk.
Please
Oh, no,
don't.
where did he
I
go?
don't want
Wait,
to jingle.
Wait, you know what? Is he gonna go find a gremlin bell that he's gonna give you? Oh my god. If he comes back with one, I swear to God.
Dude, I've seen like, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some really cute ones at DHY. Like it's Defford Honda Yamaha. It's up close to me, and they do mainly sport bikes or whatever. But like they have them for sport bikes there, and they're cute. But I will not put them on my bike. It's just so I feel like if you guys put one on my bike, it's gonna be bad juju. I don't want to wreck. My bike is awesome.
Somebody gives it
wait.
to you and somebody puts it on, then it's good juju.
No, because you guys are doing
Best
it
thing
as a
about
joke.
wearing
It's
a
not the
thong-
same.
The best thing about wearing the thong during the race is you don't have to worry about your underwear up your crack because it's already there.
A thong? What do I wear?
Oh,
I don't think I wear anything underneath my unisuit.
I don't wear underwear, just my base.
I was gonna say I just wear my base layers. Did I just tell everybody what I wear? It's funny because I wear
if I start racing,
Oh,
you go.
good. I was
No,
gonna say,
you-
I wear like a super bra underneath the tight. Not that I have much there, but like it's one that clips and then it zips. So like, but like then I don't care about the rest of it. Like, what's wrong with me? But
You
go
know,
I
ahead.
think
I'm very
I think the proper
surprised.
thing to wear is a diaper because I have nearly shit myself breaking into turn 1 on many occasions. So
Oh, on
I think that
Thunderbolt,
would be the
fuck
most-
yeah, dude.
yeah.
Thunderbolt scare or turn 1,
actually-
I've wrecked bad in.
Talked
Not
about this
good.
in another show, but have you actually shit yourself while riding? That's the question.
No,
not.
however, I do have a story about that.
Ugh.
I was late to
And-
work. And I should not have answered the question before the story. Late to work, riding fast to get there, and I have to fart. Do the thing where you shift over your butt cheek a little bit, fart, and I'm like, oh no. And mind you, I live 50 minutes from work. I'm like, oh no. Like I'm, I don't know, 26, 27, something like that. I can't believe I just shit myself on my way to work. And I have 15 more fucking minutes to get there. And I just have to feel it. And it feels awful, just mentally defeated. Then I shift a little bit and it goes away. Turns out it was just an air pocket that was just trapped. And I had to go through the mental anguish of, all right, I shit myself. It's not even 7 a.m. I have to figure out who's open so I can go get underwear because I'm so far from home. It was terrible. So
I've farted in my leathers and like felt it like creep up. Like there's only one way out. When you're in your leathers,
Yeah, up.
out the top.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm like a 12-year-old.
And then I
Poop jokes
vomited.
are funny.
I have not gotten there yet. You would think on some of these hot days, man, too, like you would really feel it. But I guess it was.
Listen, as
for-
women, we have worse things to deal with. Okay. And
I have not had to go to a track during that time of month yet. So
well, you have not been to the track enough because it's often.
you know that I've only been to the track 3 times this year. So
Oh,
fortunately,
yeah, I guess you're
all-
right.
I have avoided Aunt Flo coming to ride with me.
Well,
so-
even just like if you're riding on the street, I mean, like,
oh, well, that's
I mean,
because if I'm riding on the
it's-
street, like I
that's
go to the
not
bathroom before
comfortable.
I go. I mean, I don't know.
It's just uncomfortable.
I don't know. How are you wearing your feminine hygiene stuff? I mean,
It's not that. It's the okay. I think there are too many guys in here who don't want to
Let's
hear
move
this
on, let's
shit.
move on.
It's probably
I
just, I'm
think-
assuming
I
it's
think
just all
this
the
is
other
I think
discomfort
this is a-
associated.
Exactly, Chris. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think this
It's
is off the record.
Swamp crotch. Thanks, Kiwis.
So moving right along, the next superstition thing is riding a green motorcycle.
Oh, that's a World War II thing, by the way.
Yep. It's
Yes.
because snipers would target it, and then when you got out of the service, you could buy Harleys really cheap, which is kind of how Harley really started to take off. But a lot of those bikes were really poorly maintained. And yeah, when you have a bike that has literally been through a war zone that wasn't very well maintained, and that also is how choppers came to be, because some of the things were so fucked up that they would just chop them up and make these custom jobs out of them. So yeah, green bikes were unlucky, but obviously I don't subscribe to that because I have 3 Kawasaki's, and if that was the case, Kawasaki would probably go out of business because there would have been some kind of an association with that lime green color and crashing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was more or less America just sucking and just wanting money. That's all that was. Poor maintenance. Like, U.S. military. That's what we're good for.
I was there. I seen it. I done it.
Samesies. I was in the army. I know. Trash.
Also, it would make me the biggest nerd in the world, but I would definitely buy a diesel KLR just because I think they're fucking dope.
I've seen.
Yeah, it is fucking
I've seen
awesome.
one in person, and it was like I was super stoked about it because, it's a.
It probably looks identical. It's
It is.
to me, it's just something that's like,
diesel on the
I
tank,
had
and you're like, holy
fun.
shit! This is a bike that runs on diesel.
Yeah, it's fucking cool as shit. I don't care. I think it's neat.
I mean,
Maybe
right
not with
now,
current
right, yeah,
diesel
right
prices.
now, not so much.
No, but it's a bike. You know what the mileage would be on that if you're riding a diesel bike? Like the mileage is already okay on a bike with regular gas. Like, do you imagine diesel?
but
The
it's
engine would run
£600
for.
so expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
But remember, I'm in Pennsylvania, like the most fuel taxed place in the entire world. I swear.
Dude, New Jersey's not doing much better right now.
Like
I don't.
I was in
DD
Maryland
214
last
club.
weekend, and it's literally like 90 cents cheaper in Maryland than it is in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, just cross the border.
That's wild.
All right. So next thing on the list is riding with the rear pegs down when you don't have a rider back there to have.
There's
it.
like 10,000 different things to that. So,
So-
like, it depends on where you're from, what you're doing.
I was doing wheelies one time on my R1, and I had my rear pegs down because I was doing wheelies. And this is when I was still married, and my ex-wife came out in the garage, and she's like, "Why the fuck are your back pegs down?"
Like, bitch, I'm doing wheelies,
I was
dank
like,
ass
I was doing
woolies.
wheelies. I swear to God, I was just doing wheelies with my friends. I hang out with guys in leathers all day. Like I'm not doing anything weird.
So it's
Dude,
it's bad
I
luck.
hate jealous women.
So it's bad luck because your wife's gonna kill you. Well, I will say the thing that I had heard is I'm glad we started with the Gremlin Bell thing, because I had heard that the evil spirits will take that as an invitation to sit on the back of your bike and cause issues. However, in the more real set of possibilities of things that could happen, I'll get that in a second. In the more real set of possibilities that could happen is if you have your pegs down and you do crash, especially if it's in the middle of nowhere, so you go off into the woods, paramedics might be looking for 2 people. They won't leave the scene until they locate the second person, say you're unconscious. If you're obviously conscious and speaking, you can get that sorted out, but I wouldn't recommend it as a result of that.
Oh, but that's definitely a good point. Like I never thought about that before. So yeah, that's definitely a good
Yeah.
point. I think it's
So here's
so much spirit stuff, like, you know, like with the gremlin bells and an evil spirit coming up and taking your bike down. And
yeah.
I feel like guys, like especially a certain crowd of bikers, just will use as they can to blame having to lay her down on something else.
Yeah. So one thing that is actually opposite of that for some is like when somebody passes away, they'll say, put your rear foot pegs down so they can hitch a ride or whatever when you go on like the memorial rides or whatever. Or like there's like a whole thing with that. Like that was what it was around here anyway. Like some people do. I wouldn't do that shit. I think it's all fucking dumb, but like that's me personally.
That leads us to another good one is riding a dead man's bike. Like never buy a dead man's bike. If you inherit one, get rid of it. Like, what are your thoughts on this one?
It's a fucking bike. I'm gonna ride it.
If it has two wheels, I'm gonna ride it.
Same.
It depends how they died. Is the frame bent? It would be my question.
Let's say they didn't die on the motorcycle.
Oh,
they
then-
didn't die on the motorcycle. It was maybe natural causes. Maybe they had a little too much fun with a little too much cocaine or something. Like who knows?
What if-
like
what
whatever.
if-
Hookers? Are there hookers? I like
What if they
hookers.
low sided, like the bike, came to a nice like stop and they got hit by a car? Can we still buy? I mean, I'd buy the bike.
Absolutely. Well, no, I'm going to convince everybody that they shouldn't. That way I can go out and get a CBX, because certainly everybody that bought one back in the day in like 1979 is probably dead at this point. So
Word.
Go buy a CBX right now. You just got to spend about 10 grand.
I almost bought one. There was one that was on eBay. Unfortunately, I was in London at the time, so the listing went off at, God, it must have been like 5 a.m. It went for, I want to say 5 grand, and I was willing to pay like 7 for it. So always regret the bike you don't buy.
All right,
Yeah, I
so
got a lot of those.
everybody here will ride a dead man's bike, huh?
Hell yeah.
For
Fuck
sure.
that guy. It's mine now. I don't give a shit. I'm greedy.
All right, well, another superstition, and this is, instead of saying fuck other riders, if you see a rider stopped on the side of the road, you're supposed to stop, like no matter what, like whether they look
Absolutely.
down or whatever.
I do that in my car.
Yeah,
Aw.
that's what I'm saying.
I-
Like if I'm in my car and I ride or I drive past, I will like roll my window down and be like, yo, you good? Because I'm a little girl, so I gotta be careful. Like, I have a stun gun in my car, believe it or not. My stepdad bought it for me when he found out I was riding at night and stuff. He's like, here, you need this for Christmas. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, thanks. So I got a stun gun. And I've never used it. I wanted to use it on my ex-husband, but like he was not game for that. So we didn't do that. We were still together at the time. But
Can we try it out next track day?
yeah, let's do it. It's always in my car. Absolutely. I've been looking for somebody to use it on. Yeah.
I've never had I've had a couple friends with stun guns. They've never let me test them out.
Yeah, dude, we're doing it, Chris.
Wait,
We're doing it.
wait, hold on. Is Amanda testing it out on you, or do you want to test it out on her? Like, or
I
is
think-
I'm not.
I think
no,
I think generally it's you do it to yourself.
I'll let Chris do it to himself.
Yeah, it's
It might do a thing for him. We don't know yet, so we'll let him do it.
all I know is I want video, please. I want video of this.
I'm sure
Oh,
there will be
absolutely.
video.
Do
Duh,
a
of
video,
course.
and then we'll post it on the channel. We'll post it on the new channel.
I video everything. It's cool. I even have like Steph and Nico, like she's teaching him how to like tango or something at our last track day. Like I have tons of videos of that. Yeah, dude, we do some wild shit. It's fun.
What about the other video that you have?
Oh, you mean the ones you doing a burnout after your last session?
No.
That was a wicked burnout. Or the handstand videos
I'm
of me
talking
like
about the handstand contest.
oh,
that
where
somebody
like my phone
may or
hit me
may
in
not.
the face.
Somebody
and
may or
Looney
may
came up
not have
behind me.
lost miserably.
That's because I had spent all day teaching Nico how to do a good handstand, and I was worn out.
Sure. Excuses. Excuses.
Dude, it's been a long time. I'm old, okay? It's been a long time since competitive gymnastics. But no, I mean, but back on the subject with like bikes and stuff, I'll always roll down my window and ask if they're good because I always have tools in my car. I always have extra parts in my car. I mean, you guys have seen the trunk of my car. It's basically a shop back there. So yeah, no, I will always ask.
I
Yeah.
fashioned this guy's his it was a Harley, and his like his muffle heather busted, like cracked, and we fashioned a patch for it out of a monster can I had in my car and some safety wire, and
Love that.
it got him going down the road.
Right
I got
on.
a guy that was a brand new rider. I got his Ninja 250 started when he just couldn't get it for the life of him, and I forget what I had to do. I think it was just drain the carburetors and then just push start him and told him, I don't care what you do not let that thing, do not let that thing stall, like keep it moving. When you come to a light, in case your carburetors are fucked up, just rev the piss out of it like an asshole, but get it home. So
That's good though. And it's funny because that's how I've made some really good friends that I've had over the years too, whether like we're just acquaintances or we talk sometimes, but I've made friends that way. Just like say, yo, what's up? You need some help? And then you feel good about it because you're like, dang, this is my community, man. This is what I'm doing. And that's what I aim to do. I just, for as much shit as I talk and as many opinions I have, I do love helping people and I enjoy being a part of the community and sucking people in and getting them on the right path.
And
like I really do. Oh, like, wow. Listen, I'm good at what I do. What can I say?
Sorry, low hanging fruit.
Yeah, listen, always.
All right. So the next thing is, like we touched on this a little bit earlier, the blessing of the bikes, a tradition, go out first of the season. I feel like, don't they do this at Moto America? Don't they have like a guy pray over the bikes every weekend too? Like
they do that at CCS. I don't know about Moto America. I'm not usually there for that.
I feel like I've met the clergy guy or the minister or whatever they call him for Moto America. Like I feel like I've met him. I don't know, I don't know if they do it like officially or whatnot. Like I have no idea, but
yeah, probably. Have you ever been to one like on a street thing where people like, oh, it's a group ride to bless in like a church parking lot?
I've never been to a group parking lot. Like I know I've done a couple like rides, like when the ex was in like the bad MC club. Like there were definitely somebody would pray over before we all went on the rides, but it's never at a church.
Yeah.
Texas,
Usually
like they do prayers before track days, which I'm a super religious person, but I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's cool for those who are religious.
Yeah, I think it's nice for the people that it really means something to some people. So
yeah, I'm a little bit more nihilistic when it comes to that shit. I don't, but like I have like my thing with
really
science in the universe, I guess. But like, I mean, I think it's good for those who it matters to on a mental level. Whereas me, I'm just like, yeah, no, thank you. I have other things to do, like drink coffee and do yoga. Because if not, my hip will pop. So
but here's the thing, like so I was raised in a church. I have a grandfather who's a Pentecostal preacher, or he was.
Nice.
90 years old now or something like that. He's ancient. But like for me, for prayer, like as I got less religious, got more spiritual, like yoga, meditation is basically the same as prayer. Like you're just it's on something. And even when somebody prays, I will still close my eyes and I will have a meditative moment, and that's okay. Like,
I agree.
It's like kind of taking everything else out of your mind and just focusing on self and your breath for a minute. Never hurts.
No, I also like, even with that, you could do like box breathing and things of that nature that help you focus if you're, you know what I mean? Like it's a simple thing to do. There's like so many different things.
All right. Well, while scouring the internet, I also found superstition as to not dismount or mount your bike from the right side. And this one I had
just
to
a
laugh at
safety issue.
I'm like, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're up on like a stand,
like I do it, but it's a safety issue.
Well, my friend's dad can't mount on the left side. His hip is fucked up, so he only mounts on the right side.
That makes sense.
My mom's
I don't think a reason not to.
My mom doesn't ride, but she wanted to get on my bike, so I held the bike up so she could mount from the right side.
Sometimes Gold Wings, like I'll go up from the other side so I can throw my leg because it's with the Harley or with the Gold Wings, they have like the bags on the back, so it's hard to throw your leg up and over. So you
Over,
got
yeah.
from and sometimes it's
Yeah,
just
so to kind of step, yeah, I get what you're saying.
So basically, you're just saying you're not flexible from that side.
I'm not flexible and I'm old and
You're not old. None of you people are old. I'm like the oldest.
I don't know. I might be pretty old. I think Chris is the young. Chris, how old are you?
31.
Yeah, he's the youngest. Woo!
Oh my God, you're a baby.
Yeah,
Gee.
he's a baby. Wait, how old's Erica?
Almost 35 on Friday.
Oh, she's old.
Oh.
Oh, you look at you.
Oh,
She's over there robbing the cradle. Good for her.
Dude, 4 years is not robbing the cradle.
No.
It's
Speaking
I
of
don't let
which-
her know that.
No, right? Speaking
Yeah.
of which, I'm pretty sure Shannon and Erica would probably get along pretty well with
I
some
think so.
similarities. Yeah. I
Oh my
was thinking
God,
about
why
that.
What's our similarities, or should we not say them here on a live
Oh, no,
broadcast?
no, no, no,
Oh,
no,
no,
no, no.
she's-
They're good similarities.
Yeah, she's also very, very spiritual.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she
Yeah,
actually
so-
was just at yoga earlier today.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which way this was going. So
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. No, so I met her twice, and the second time when I met her when we went to dinner at Nico's, we were talking about like certain things. Like she's like, I'm on the lighter spiritual shit. Like I like certain things and I incorporate it into my everyday life to help with mindfulness for me, not necessarily because like I believe in like some kind of higher power or anything like that, but like I just help because it helps my brain shut the fuck off, right? And it helps me be calm. Whereas like she's into it, she's in it to win it. And it's like a beautiful thing when you hear her talk about it. Like she was talking about sound baths and I love essential oils, but she was talking about it in a different way where I was like, whoa, this is cool. And like you guys go to like EDM shows and all that, right? Like I don't know what y'all call it. It's like a EDM thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
do all the cool stuff. Like she, like honestly, I would just probably sit there and listen to her and just learn everything she has to say because it's so interesting.
That's when she starts talking astrology,
Yes.
even though it's not, I'm a very technical person, so it's not quite my thing, but I enjoy learning about it, even if she will have to repeat herself a lot with it because I don't retain it very well. But
Yeah.
She sends me like my weekly horoscope like every single week, and just like this is what your horoscope
like
looks
this is
like.
what your week
And
looks
I'm
like.
like-
So
I'm
like,
like,
don't
I-
react on this day.
I was like, I understand about a quarter of what I'm reading here.
Dude, if you guys knew what my freaking placements were, you'd lose your mind. Well, I mean, Shannon probably would.
what
I
is your
see it.
horoscope?
Chart.
Well, I am a Gemini sun, I'm a Leo moon, and I'm a Taurus rising. But the rest of it, I'm going to keep a secret. If people know too much, they can do stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
they'll
you missed that I
understand-
said
they'll understand
horoscope, not
why.
horoscope.
All right. Well, anyway, let's move on because this is not about this shit.
No, it's not about motorcycles anymore, guys. Sorry.
Right,
I
So
jacked.
another thing that I saw that I was kind of upset about, like, was
Uh.
that you didn't hang your helmet on the handlebars.
So
No.
listen, that tears up the back of your pads, by the
It
way.
ruins the inside of your helmet, and it greatly increases the chance of it like slipping and falling on the ground, someone walking past, knocking on the ground. Then your $600 helmet hits the ground, and guess what? Now you have to get a new helmet.
But like, okay, so usually when I'm getting on my bike to go ride, like I'll just like not on the track, of course, because like I put it on the mirror.
Can I ask you something?
I have an
Why don't you
MTO7.
Can
so
I
the
ask you
mirror-
something? There's a hook underneath your back seat. There's a hook underneath your
No,
back seat.
if I'm going to a restaurant or if I'm stopping for a long period
Hook
of time,
it and lock it.
no, I do if I'm stopping, but I'm saying like if I'm getting on my bike,
So put your helmet on first.
I tuck my gloves.
Wait.
and
Yeah. You
I
don't
put
put your
my
helmet
helmet-
on before you sit on your bike?
Oh hell no.
Why?
Because I have a thing. Like I get on my bike, like I
Okay.
zip up, I put my headphone in, I zip up, make sure my pockets are closed, then I mount the bike. My gloves are where my keys are, so then I sit on it. My helmet is I put my helmet on the mirror, and then I put my left glove on and my right glove. Not because I am weird, but just because I'm
You put your
right-handed.
gloves on before your helmet.
Yeah, what the
No,
fuck?
wait.
That's
I
look.
do
I've
put my
only
helmet
known
on.
one
Then I
person
put
to
my
do
helmet on,
that.
and then my gloves. Helmet before gloves. Helmet before
Okay.
gloves.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
but like
that's one of
but
those
I do the
mistakes you
gloves
make.
and the helmet. I do the gloves and the helmet while I'm on the bike. Except when I'm at the track. At the track, it's different because I don't have my mirrors to hang it on. So I put everything on before I get on the bike.
I haven't had
Except my gloves.
I haven't had mirrors in like 10 years, so
Samesies.
I
Like
don't-
I've never.
I
ridden with
guess
mirrors.
I guess the mirrors aren't the handlebars, so it doesn't count, right?
No,
But-
it counts. It still tears up your pads.
I wouldn't put it on the handlebars because they're like
But
low.
regardless, like,
It'll fall off then.
you know, it's still,
'Cause
can,
I'm
it
a
still it can
klutz.
still mess up the interior of the helmet, and it still
Falling
runs-
off.
falling off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, falling off is probably more the
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see here. So a couple other things, just like a couple loose ones at the end here. Some people have lucky underpants. Like I've heard of riders wearing the same pair without washing them the entire race season.
I don't know about
Oh
that.
my god,
but
that's vile.
That's disgusting. And I have my
That's
lucky
vile.
shorts that I wear every time I go to the track and my sunglasses. I wear the same orange pink shorts and the same sunglasses.
I have my lucky lunch.
Oh, Moe's, dude, this motherfucker eats Moe's every time we're at the track. It never fails. He'll go out for lunch. He comes back up. He's got Moe's. Dude, love it. It's
On a
hilarious.
track, I ate it 3 days in a row this year, and you know what? I attribute every the 2 accomplishments on track to just Moe's. Looking for that sponsorship. Anyone's got to hook up. But track riding stuff. There are a couple of them. I know a lot of people that skip first and last session.
Yes. That's
I understand, and I guess this is maybe the only superstition I have, although I think it's more of I would feel terrible, but if somebody has, and I do tell people, if you have decided to not do last session, you've decided it, I won't convince anyone to do last session, and I will tell them to, if I've decided I'm not doing last session, which has never happened, then I don't want to go back on that, because that's when, I don't know, to me, that's when I crash, when I feel dumbest about it. So
Hey, you're going with your gut feeling.
yeah,
I rarely ride last session just because I was on like super time constraints. I'm like, okay, I need to leave by this time so I can be home by this time, because I'm an idiot and I always have like, I never take off the day after. But the only time I ever
I don't
rode,
either.
like the very end of the day, it was down in Texas. It was an open track, so it wasn't even sessions. It's like 6 hours, track's open, and you go out and ride as much as you want.
fuck, that's
And
awesome.
so me and my buddy were out, turning some laps, no big deal. Come in, we get, we park where we were set up at, and the guy that ran the track day, he's like, hey, there's 15 minutes left. Are you guys done? And we're like, oh, 15 minutes, we'll run back out there. Second turn, low side, like wasn't even pushing as hard. Like it was just the tires cooled down just enough that went out second turn, and I was also wearing brand new gloves that day that I never.
Ah.
Yep.
There
Yeah,
it is.
I'll
So you
say,
do
like,
subscribe to that one.
you know, like at the beginning.
Same
so
the
this-
same thing happened with new boots one time too. New boots out on the track, and
How about new freshly painted fairings? That's happened too.
no
The
that was-
Miami
that
blue.
was- that was the third one.
That was your third track day?
I almost crashed the first one. I went the high side and I saved it. It did break my windscreen
and really hurt your leg.
and it really hurt my leg, but I didn't crash until it was the third. That was when. Well, we'll go into that one. We'll touch that one later.
Yeah, that's
Oh, the last one. I know which one you're talking about. However, I do every session all the time. Even if I wreck, I will go right back out there. I do not care. I do not like to waste my time or my money. I'm riding. And there were track days where I was doing novice and intermediate because I coach intro, and I was doing there's 8 sessions a day. So I was doing 16 sessions a day, and I did that, I think, 3 days in a row one time. I don't know. I just have too much energy. I could just do it. Adderall.
in preparing for track days and stuff. Like I remember reading up on them and just getting advice and figuring out what the heck they were even like, because I hate showing up to something and not knowing what to expect.
Oh, for
And
sure.
people said, like the last
That is scary.
day, most
Mhm.
people are, yeah, we're totally going to do a track day show. Don't worry. Like we're going to go over this for anybody who's never been on a track, like, because they're so much fun, but it's you get some anxiety when you're going to your first track day, like, oh my God, what do? I don't want to screw up. I don't want to mess up. These people are like pros. No, they're not.
I think it's almost as intimidating as your decision to ride a bike to begin with.
For sure.
Yeah, there's definitely some anxiety going on there, but I remember reading about how like the last couple sessions of a day, especially on really hot days or things like that, like people just they lose mental focus, they're more likely to crash. And like so every time I go to a track, like I try to be very conscious about my mind, my body, because like if it's like 90 degrees like or higher,
Hydration formation.
even if you're
That's why I
even
park
if
near
you're
the
staying
bathrooms.
hydrated, like you're
That's right.
staying in your leathers all day long, and yeah, you unzip them and stuff, and as a girl you got to take them off to go pee, but you're in your leathers all damn day. And
Not me.
well,
No,
whatever.
Chris
Amanda
gets
can
naked halfway
verify.
through the day. He will take them off
Between
after
every session.
every
every
session. That's
session.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
dude,
just
and we're
too
just
much
like, okay,
work.
cool.
That is just way too much
That's a lot of
work.
work.
But it's
No,
like
it's not. You know what's too much work? Staying in a fucking hot leather gimp suit when it's 95 degrees out and humid. That sounds horrible. Way easier to be like, out, done. Feel great for the
this
next
is
40
why you can
minutes.
do the last session, So I mean, but
Exactly.
I've learned listen to my brain, and when I make the decision, like maybe I'm just not strong enough or mentally there, like I call it, and I don't feel bad about it because I would much rather be safe and secure in my riding, especially being a newbie. Like as a newbie, I don't want to go do something stupid.
Well, keep this in mind. If you are still focused, at least if you're still focused enough to do a session, even if you say, I always tell myself, all right, you're going to take it easy. It's last session. Don't be a dickhead. When I was down at Barber, I turned my best lap on the last session. And you know why?
Yes,
Everybody sits it out.
that's right.
Open
And there's
track.
nobody on the track. Exactly.
So it is a safer session. And
Yep.
generally, people aren't really trying to break records at the last session. Those are the people that are just there saying, fuck it, I really like this stuff. Let me just go out for another one. So
I mean-
last session's the best session.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm
I
a
agree.
fan of wet laps. I hate to say it. When it starts raining, I'm like, oh baby, open track.
Yes.
And
So
I think
I
that's the thing, too, like I have got to remember too, like just because I go out there doesn't mean I have to do the whole session. Like I can always come in if something
you
doesn't feel right.
can, sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
But-
like I can always go out there and try it, and if the
Here-
first
here's-
lap isn't all right, I can get off. And I think that's the thing too. Like I'm so like I want to get every moment I can, and
Sure.
I've yet to come.
Here's
in.
the thing. These track days, you're purchasing these track days. These track days are for you. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. It's for your learning, your happiness, your satisfaction. You have nothing to prove to anybody but yourself. So you do whatever you ride this day however you see fit. Me, my last two sessions are my best sessions, and I'm out there trying to whoop everybody's ass. So I don't give a shit.
I'm gonna say
Not
on
a
the
race,
flip side-
Amanda. It's not a race.
Yeah,
It's
I was
not,
gonna
it's
say
not.
I disagree with these track days are for you because that's exactly why a lot of people crash. But I get what you're saying. That's not what you
Egotistical
were
way.
getting at.
I
but-
mean it as in like this is for you to do something for you. This is like a gift
Yeah.
to yourself, not to go be a dickhead. I mean, not to have an ego, but but yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up because that could have been taken a different way.
No, I don't think it would have been interpreted that way. But when you said it, I just kept thinking of the
The ego guys.
The shitty,
All the
shitty
Ducatis and the
pack people.
S1000s
People on
and
track with egos.
huh?
Yeah,
People on the track with egos.
I know it's
Oh my
surprising,
God.
but there are. It's you don't encounter them often, but when you do,
You
All right.
do, and then you're
Yeah,
coaching them on
we have a couple
fucking
more. We
300.
have a couple more things to get through because we are coming up on 10 o'clock, and I try not to stay on too late past 10 because I like to go to sleep. But anyway, so traditional thing when you pass another rider on the street, obviously not on the track, you throw two fingers out.
Oh, I do
Sometimes
that.
on the track, you throw one finger out.
Okay, this is up for discussion because I mean I don't ride the street anymore, but when I did, I gave the twos to everybody because I respect everybody. If you're on a slingshot, if you're on a Can-Am, go fuck yourself. And if you're on something and you don't throw me the twos, I'm turning around and giving you the finger because that's rude.
Can-Ams, yes. Slingshots, no. Because slingshots, I mean, up until like very recently, they finally like came up with their own motor, but they're running the same motor out of the Chevy Cobalts. So, I mean, it's a car, but they can't register as a car because it meets absolutely no safety standards whatsoever that cars have to. So it's like a.
what do you mean? What's it missing?
I mean, I don't. Doors, roof. Like you pay $25,000 for something that like doesn't handle. They're not fast. You have no safety things. You don't get a stereo in the basement.
And
You know what else? You know what
Ew.
else you can get for 25 grand? A Mazda Miata, and it
That's
has
right,
all
and
those
those
things, and is way better in
autocross.
every way, and is awesome, and you can put a K24 in it with a turbo.
Dude, you can do so much with a Miata. You're absolutely right. Miatas are like the perfect track or street car if you're just trying to have fun and spend no money. They're
Well,
awesome.
Hold on,
You
let's
gotta spend
back
money
to
to
top.
get one because they're desirable.
Okay, all right. Moving
But back on
Miata
topic.
stuff. Okay, let's just move past this real fast. Okay, so Mike has a couple of unique superstitions of his own.
Or you
okay?
mean just
Ooh,
one that
I like 'em.
involves Shannon?
No, there's 3 of them. There's 3.
Oh shit, here we go.
The first one is he always watches the MotoGP Animals video and listens to Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart.
I like it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, before.
Before every for I got I don't even know how long now. Forever. Yep. First it's MotoGP Animals, which you gotta take with a grain of salt because it does have Nickelback, but
I'm not familiar with MotoGP Animals.
so just Google MotoGP Animals and it's a bunch of like old MotoGP clips like
I'm sure Rossi's in it.
two-stroke days. It's a lot of Rossi.
course.
Two-stroke days and like early 4-stroke days when they were just like complete monster 4-stroke days and lots of crashes. And it starts off with like the opening music from Top Gun, the
Oh, I love the Top Gun theme.
and then it cuts into Nickelback Animals, which is where like the animals part comes from.
So it's funny.
And is it just
I
a bunch
do
of high siding?
A lot of high sides, a lot of
Ooh.
a lot of sliding, and all kinds of like every turn. I think they're sideways. Because that's why they were high siding so much back then. Because every turn they're sideways.
Those fucking 2-strokes high sided like insane. Well, it's because the fastest way to get around the track with those, because the tire compounds at the time, was to slide the rear like crazy. So you slide it, you get grip, high side.
Yeah, I used to do something similar where like when I first started track riding, I used to listen to Twist of the Wrist 2 the night before and on my way to the track. I don't do it anymore because I don't know. I don't know why I don't, but I used to do that. It was like the thing I did religiously to like keep information in my head because I was always so nervous. Yeah, it was
sense.
Okay. Yeah, I would just do because it's all very basic information.
And then
Personally,
just get you going.
All right.
I listen to music while I'm on the track, actually.
Oh,
You are one of the very few
wow.
people I've heard, but I get it because I know I have an understanding of how your brain works a little bit after knowing you for a while. So it makes sense for Chris to do this.
The organization I go with will not like they'll kick you out if you listen to music on the track.
Because you ride with them too.
Well, I think we're missing.
How about ride with
track day? With Midwest Track Days is no longer. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Track Days is no longer.
The people we rode with that in
NCM.
Kentucky.
But anyway, so Mike's number 2 thing.
Wait, which one are you gonna do? Number
This one right here.
Okay, that's so number 2. No sex beforehand. Every time I've done that beforehand, I've crashed.
And I've asked him like, what is the time frame on this? And like,
well, night before for sure, no.
But you've also said like days before.
Well, my ex-wife never had sex with me, so I mean,
we're getting
that was
deep.
That rule was an easy rule because I was few and far between.
All right, and then what is your last thing?
Last rule. So, what Amanda touched earlier with me crashing this year after I painted my bike all nice and pretty was third or fourth track day of the season. I was going to NC Bike, and that's the one where I'm like, Amanda, we're going to NC Bike. Come on, you're coming with. And she's like, I can't do that. Okay, I'm leaving in an hour.
I drove 5 hours in and out.
So I took her bike down. It was her first track day, and it was the first session I did.
No, this is the
second session I did. Crashed in turn 10. Low side.
Oh, Yeah. And then
And-
I crashed in fucking turn one.
She crashed in turn one.
Okay, so
then
Chris, this is my very first track day, and both the people I'm there with crash out.
well, no, we both got back
And then
out there.
and then
It was
Confidence
it was my
building,
first
confidence
track day
building.
with the R3 too. So I was fucking like, what the fuck? I just built this. We finished building that bike. Well, putting the fairings on, the track fairings on the night before. We were up till almost 1 a.m. trying to finish my bike because I was in the middle.
My headlights because my
and-
LED lights for my
and
Easy
so
Up
it's
went
been
out.
determined, like, so they say they thought it was me, like, you know, like he drives my bike
Well,
down,
no,
you know,
I
like
mean,
I'm
it
the
was
one
still-
that didn't crash, so I'm
it
the
was
reason
still
why they
no,
crashed.
it was still
Not that they
undeter-
were up to 1 o'clock in the morning and like probably
No,
didn't get
no,
enough sleep
no,
or
no,
anything like that.
No,
No.
you got
Hmm.
because at that point it was still like, okay, I mean, we were up late, you putting her bike together. We did it by the headlights of my car. You know, my LED lights for my Easy Up went out. Like there was a lot of bad things going on. But then
we went to NCM, which
Drove-
is like
drove-
10, 12 hours, whatever, far away.
get there.
You rode half the day.
I rode half the day, last session before lunch. So there's a
He doesn't crash. He
The-
does not crash.
coming out of like the bus stop turn. It's this crazy, like there's no like correct line through this turn. Like everyone I've talked to there is like, it doesn't matter how you do it, trying to get around.
It's always wrong, sometimes a little more right.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no right way. It's just whatever way you can get around it. So I come out and I go to click second gear and nothing happens. And I'm like, okay, so like I normally a quick shift before the next turn. It's like a blind right-hander. And I go to shift, nothing happens. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But it shifted a little funny earlier in the day. Go over the blind right and then the left, and that's a really fast part of the track, like fifth gear, like topped out fifth gear, and I'm like pushing down and like nothing's happening, and I pull in, throw my hand up, I pull in, and I see my shifter at a weird angle. So I'm thinking, okay, the bolt fell out of the pivot, and I'll find a bolt, I'll get back out there. Oh no, my shift shaft snapped.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
Yeah, so that was the.
It has nothing to do with
So
him.
that was the end of.
or taking care of his bike.
I take care of
all
my
fault.
bike.
It's all my
I'm
Hey-
glad you can at least admit it. It's all your fault.
So then, there's more. Okay. So I wanted to get one last track day in because like I was getting more confident in turns. I wanted to work on my lean angle. I wanted to work on, just body positions, like getting like a butt cheek off the bike. And I wanted to do it in a safe space. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to pit race. It was like the beginning of October. It was so freaking cold. And then,
So cool.
and this guy was like, his
Oh wait,
bike-
was that the same weekend I was at Shenny?
Yes.
You guys did pit?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was
Yeah.
icy
So
that weekend.
his
Oh my
bike
God, it
his
was so
bike was
cool.
broke, so I was like, I gotta find a ride for my bike. So this really awesome coach, he does like YCS, AJ Ciempa, he lives like 30 minutes from me, and he offered to take my bike to pit race for me, and I was like, yay, awesome, this is great. So he does end up he fixes his bike, he gets his bike fixed in time, he meets me there. Okay, so he's separate, he rides separate. But AJ, who hasn't crashed in 5 years, so this is like Sunday, probably like midday. I asked another coach because I hadn't seen AJ around, and I asked another coach. I'm like, hey, like which session is AJ coaching this today? And he's like, oh man, AJ crashed out this morning. I think he went home. So AJ did not go home, but the man who transported my bike crashed, and a man who hasn't crashed in 5 years, a man who coaches for N2, a man who does like the Yamaha champ school, he crashed because he transported my bike.
your bike.
So
Well,
now
I was going to suggest that we do a track day, but now I don't know if I'm interested.
You can do a track day with because it was like
you just can't
I-
take my bike
I
to
think-
You
the
just cannot trailer
I
her
think
bike
the
on your
high that
cool new
weekend-
trailer.
I think the high that weekend was like 50 maybe,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and I was only running like like a second a lap slower than like a normal day.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like I was slouching out there.
Were you
And-
on slicks or
Grip
DOTs?
issues,
No, he was on
nothing.
Q3s.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah, no,
You want DOTs when it is colder out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
For
and
sure.
DJ admits he probably pushed it a little bit too hard for the tires in the cold temps. Like, that's his story, but so now
But does
now
he know? But does he know?
but now I have no idea how I'm going to get to any tracks next year. Like, I'm going to have to buy a new vehicle that can trailer, and I
Interesting.
gotta get the
What kind of
trailer.
vehicle do you have now?
I have a Mazda 3. I want a new vehicle.
Okay, yeah. You know what just happened this past weekend? My Mazda 3 towed 2 track bikes on a trailer from Roanoke, Virginia
All right,
to North Jersey.
but here's the thing, like my Mazda's got, I never keep a car past 100,000 miles, but because
Mine's got 105.
I work remotely and she's paid off, and I've been spending money on other things like motorcycles and leathers.
Yeah, just get a small trailer.
I've been
and,
procrastinating, but I need a new vehicle. But I don't want
No,
to.
you don't.
I don't want to put the tow hitch. Like, I don't want to invest in that and do all that
It's like
if I'm going to get rid of it.
$100.
Why would you get rid of your Mazda 3, which, by the way, the Skyactiv engine got rated the most reliable powertrain?
I mean,
I
I
think
love
2 years ago.
that car. I love her. I hate the CPU in the cold. Like tonight, like my Bluetooth does not want to connect. Like the CPU.
Yeah, Bluetooth just sucks.
I mean, I just use it for music, but like if it does not work, like in really cold temperatures, it will just keep restarting over and over and over again. I don't know if you've had any problem with that, but this is my second Mazda, and both of them have done this.
I have literally had problems with almost every Bluetooth device I've ever used. So I think that's more a problem with the technology. But
Anyway, so yeah, so that's his last superstition, is he can't take my bike to the track because he'll crash.
Or
Which you
break.
wait, but
Or break.
but really, what I think it is? Never mind, I shouldn't say it on here.
I know what you're gonna say, and I don't know.
Can I steal 5 seconds since everybody's shutting up anyway? So,
Go ahead, go ahead.
so
I really want
just
to
wanna
say it,
get-
but I really don't want to say it.
I don't even know what's going on. I got lost in the chat. So I just wanted to say what's up to Kevin Good. I met this dude years ago through other people that I used to know, and he used to ride this badass like yellow and blue CBR. The thing was fucking awesome. I think we rode once. I think we went down through like somewhere all the way down to Penns Grove or Pennsville, and then went back. And I think that was the same time that fucking Junior douchebag, he was having issues with Bobby's KTM because he has a blown head gasket, and I'm sure it's still leaking oil. Fucking dumbass bike nobody takes care of. But it's an awesome bike. It's a 390 Duke. Like, why would you not take care of it? Anyway, who cares about the shit talk? But yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for watching. It was really cool because, like, it's just cool. I didn't expect that. Neat.
All right. Well, we're gonna end the show because it's after 10, and I want to go to bed. Wow.
Exactly.
Tomorrow's only Thursday, and I still have to wake up. Actually, no, I have off tomorrow. I don't have to wake up tomorrow. Oh, I do have to wake up tomorrow, but I don't have to wake up and
I
work.
hope you wake up at some point tomorrow.
I have to wake up at some point, but I don't have to work, so that's a plus. Thank God for having to use
Very
last
jealous.
vacation
Oh
time.
yeah, dude. There's actually one more funny story that I should say. We rode out to Philly once, and it was like a few of us, including my ex-husband. And I something happened, and I got upset. Like, I was mad. It was something over the phone that happened, and I had to dip out. And then I got lost in Philly. And then actually Kevin, this is why this is important, because I didn't have a very good headlight on my GSXR at the time. It was the blue and black one, the one that I just sold. And he actually, his bright ass fucking headlight behind me on 55 the whole way through fog made sure I got home. Very good dude. Very good dude. That's why he got the shout out. But I couldn't remember which ride it was. But he actually hooked it up so I could see. Because I was rolling home panicking and I was freezing. It was a good night.
I actually thought of one quick superstition I would like people to adopt.
Oh, adapt.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, what is it?
Do not let anyone else do your brakes for you.
Oh, that's a good one. I wouldn't say
Yep.
it's superstition. That's just good maintenance.
But call it a
I hear
superstition. But I
I'm
think,
sure Mr. Mechanic over here is going to disagree with you.
No.
I think, well, obviously you
Right.
learn how to do them right with somebody that knows how to do brakes, but I would be uncomfortable if somebody else did my brakes.
Because there's lots of people that shouldn't be doing their brakes that
I suppose. All right. If you're mechanically inclined, do your own brakes. How about that?
I've seen some things.
I'm thinking back to that BFR you guys saw, and that guy shouldn't have done shouldn't have done brakes.
For sure.
All right, guys.
Couldn't
Well,
even put
everybody who's watching, thank you for hanging in with us tonight. We appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and leave comments and tell your friends, make your friends come join us and watch us next week. Next week, we'll be doing a Christmas special. We will totally be doing Christmas stuff. I have no idea what that looks like, but you're going to have to tune in to find out because I don't even know yet. But anyway, so Amanda, you can find her Stay Fast and Weird on Instagram and TikTok. We have
Not Facebook.
and only stalk her on Facebook. Don't add the friend, don't hit that friend button. Mike, you can find Twisty Rider on Instagram and where else? What are we doing? TikTok. Yeah. And then
Michael,
Chris,
4 videos.
apparently
Just my
Chris-
name on
Chris
Instagram.
search for his last name. I'm sure there's pictures of bikes, right?
I actually just finally changed it to a picture of a track bike. Before it was me feeding a goat. I was trying to pretend I was normal.
I forgot about that.
And do you have a private or public account?
Private.
Oh,
But,
all right. Well,
you could still see I'm riding a bike on a track.
all right, cool.
Shocking.
All right. Well, guys, everybody, thank you so much. Have a good one and go do something stupid.
Smart, stupid.